We are going over everything said in Donald Trump's press conference today as quickly as possible. Please subscribe and hit the like button to help me out. Enjoy the video. Trump first comments on violence happening in Democratic grand cities like Chicago. He then commends New York PD and says they should be allowed to do their job. President Trump said Bill de Blasio should hire back all fired police. He said rioters are anarchists and directed the Department of Defense to start working with cities and states to get rid of the anarchists. Trump said what is happening in cities like Portland is the Democratic roadmap. Trump met with leaders at Operation Warp Speed, which is a vaccine manufacturer. Trump announced that he negotiated a deal with Moderna to provide 100 million doses of their vaccine candidate. Trump is also working hard to lower pharmaceutical prices. He then said he secured partnerships with Johnson & Johnson, Sanofi, and GSK to support the large-scale manufacturing for their vaccine. Trump says that they are in the final stages of vaccine testing, and Trump also said military is ready to deliver a vaccine to Americans. Once the vaccine is approved by the FDA, they will produce 100 million vaccine, and then shortly thereafter 500 million. The Mayo Clinic came out with results saying this vaccine will reduce deaths by over 50%. Trump made comments on our economy rebounding extremely strong. He also made comments saying our economy is doing much better than others. COVID-19 hotspots reduction in cases by over 50%, but all Americans should still remain vigilant. 7-day average for COVID cases for the USA has fallen by over 20%, but the rest of the world is not keeping up with America. Trump comments on sports organizations not standing for the national anthem and how this relates to their falling ratings. HHS recently announced that they will use $5 billion to further protect those in nursing homes. The United States government has provided over 1,800 rapid point-of-care devices for nursing homes, but they are in the process of delivering over 15,000 to Medicare and Medicaid certified nursing homes. These machines get accurate tests in only 5 to 15 minutes. Now it is time for reporters' questions. Reporter 1 says there are 20 million people due to be evicted from their houses. He asked if Trump would let this happen. Trump said he would not allow that to happen, assuring Americans that by no means they would be evicted. Reporter 2 asked why President Trump said that Senator Harris was a phony. He then asked for specific instances that made her a big fat phony. He didn't really say big fat. Trump says that she wants to slash taxes and reduce money for the military. She opposes fracking and she's against petroleum products. She is also in favor for socialized medicine and did very poorly in the primaries. The same reporter asked about FISA abuse. Trump confirms that there is tremendous FISA abuse. The reporter then asked if Snowden should be allowed to return without prison. Trump said that they caught Obama administration spying on the Trump campaign, which is basically illegal FISA abuse, or treason. He then commented on how Camilla is a big tax raiser. She is also a big slasher of funds for the military. He said that she has a lot of things to explain. He also wonders why she was so nasty and disrespectful to Joe Biden during his debates. Reporter 3 said yesterday the Seattle City Council voted to cut funding to their police department and asked why the police chief decided to resign 3 hours later. What does this have to say about the country and defund police movement? Trump said they should be embarrassed about having a radical left group in their city, and why did they allow that to happen? He said the police commissioner seemed like a good person, but they were going to cut her salary by 40 or 50% and cut funding to the police department. He said essentially the police commissioner was not effective swaying the city council or the mayor for keeping funding. He then ended his remarks by saying, Seattle is making a tragic error and people will get hurt. And there you go, that is 1 hour press conference in 3 minutes and 35 seconds. The remainder of this video will be for the YouTube algorithm, but you can go check out this full press conference. The link is in the description.
Them and to work with the city and the state to get the job done. Local authorities have to investigate and prosecute all of these crimes immediately. We'll work with you. And the local authorities know who they are. They know where they come from. They know a lot about them. They ought to get their act together and get it done, and we're ready to help. If you need that help, you shouldn't need that help, actually. You should be able to do it yourselves and get it done very well. Again, you have excellent police and law enforcement, but you have to let them do their job. What you're seeing in Portland, Seattle, New York, Chicago is really the Democrat roadmap for America. They want every city in America to resemble Portland in a form. They want to pass federal legislation gutting and hamstringing every police department in America. They want to get rid of your Second Amendment. They want to end cash bail, close prisons, defund police departments, or at least largely defund. You see that with New York, $1 billion they took out of their police department, and crime has gone through the roof. and appoint far left prosecutors who side with the criminals and target law abiding citizens. If the left gains power, no city, town, or suburb in our country will be safe. On the vaccine front, some very good news. Today I met with the leaders of Operation Warp Speed, our historic undertaking to produce a safe and effective vaccine in record time. We heard an update from the top scientists in the government and the leaders of pharmaceutical companies, which right now aren't too thrilled with me. They're taking millions of dollars worth of ads because I've created a favored nation status for drugs, which is going to reduce drug prices by 40, 50, 60, and maybe even 70% in some cases. Numbers that have never been heard of or thought of. So when you see those ads, remember that means your drug prices are coming down. When you see ads attacking your president, it's very simple. That means drug prices are going to be falling very soon. This evening, I'm pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement with Moderna to manufacture and deliver 100 million doses of their coronavirus vaccine candidate. The federal government will own these vaccine doses. We're buying them. Recently, we also secured partnerships with Johnson & Johnson, as well as Sanofi and GSX to support the large-scale manufacturing of their vaccines, doing very well in those vaccines. Tremendous promise in every single one of them, and we have many of them. And they're years ahead of schedule. This would have been if it were in the previous administration or any of the previous administrations. Where we are now would have taken years. 3 vaccine candidates are now in phase 3 trials already, the final stage of clinical trials. This is the final stage. We are investing in the development and manufacture of the top 6 vaccine candidates to ensure rapid delivery. The military is ready to go. They're ready to deliver a vaccine to Americans as soon as one is fully approved by the FDA, and we're moving very close to that approval. We're on track to rapidly produce 100 million doses as soon as the vaccine is approved, and up to 500 million shortly thereafter. So we'll have 600 million doses. Operation Warp Speed is the largest and most advanced operation of its kind anywhere in the world and anywhere in history. We've treated more than 86,000 Americans with convalescent plasma. A recent Mayo Clinic study found that this treatment may produce results which are incredible. We look to a reduction and reduced mortality rate by 50%. And possibly even more than 50%. I urge Americans who have recovered from the virus to go to coronavirus.gov and sign up and donate. We would really appreciate that because it's been very successful, unbelievably successful, and we would love you to go and donate. As we continue to confront the global pandemic, the United States economy is rebounding with strength like nobody thought possible. You've seen the numbers. You see what's going on yesterday, today, and tomorrow, in my opinion. We're very poised for a great third quarter and very poised for some great stock market numbers and 401k numbers and everything else. Today, the Dow Jones passed 28,000 points for the first time, more than a 50% surge since just March. So we've increased by 50% more than since just March. It has gained approximately 9,500 points that same period, March, and has recovered nearly all of its value since the virus struck our nation. Think of that. America's economy is incredible, and its economic recovery is outpacing our peer nations. Last quarter, the European Union's GDP decline was nearly 40% worse than the United States. So it's 40% worse than the United States. We've built such a strong base that we're able to do things and sustain better than anybody in the world by far. France's GDP decline was nearly 80% worse than ours, and Spain experienced an economic contraction twice as severe as the United States. Nationwide, we continue to see improvements in our fight against the pandemic, very substantial improvements. Since last week, 87% of the counties in the United States report declining cases. Think of that. 87% of the counties in the United States, they reported declining cases. Mortality has declined by 7%, and hospitalizations are declining rapidly. States that were primary hotspots, such as Florida, Texas, and Arizona, have reduced cases by nearly 25%. But all Americans must remain vigilant, practice good hygiene, socially distance, wear a mask whenever possible. Whenever you are getting too close to people, wear a mask and protect the elderly. Always protect the elderly. Since the end of July, the 7-day average